Hey guys, this is ADYT Abbott, and welcome to another movie review. This movie review is going to be me giving my thoughts on It Chapter 2. I'm sorry I could not have gotten this review out sooner, but I've been working on other things for the channel to start getting back in motion to its normal schedule. Now that the first couple weeks of school have been started and I've gotten regulated to that, I can finally start getting back to working on the channel. If you've not seen It Chapter 2, this review will contain spoilers. Alright, so this movie, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very emotional. You just almost never know what to expect in this movie. Whether it's deaths of certain characters, or, just small moments that just really tug at the heartstrings or just stab you in the heart. We all knew that Stan was going to die, of course. Stan is the Jewish kid from the first film back in 2017. We all knew he was going to die, but they made his death so much more impactful and emotional in this movie than they did in the 1990s It miniseries. It was just sort of, hey, Stan slit his throat, he's dead. They didn't make him an impactful character at all, really, in that, which is one of the weaker qualities of the 90s version, even though I really do love the 90s version. But anyway, they just made his death very much, more impactful. And of course, Eddie Kaspbrak, played by I forget what his name was. The cast is amazing in this movie, by the way. Bill Hader, Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, just Isaiah Mustafa. It's just a really great cast. And of course, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise is great as per usual. Another thing, like I was saying, is that Eddie's death, it was very sad. It was drawn out. It was not just over with and done, like it was in the 90s version. Eddie tried to attack it, the spider with his inhaler, and then he got, his back or his arm broken, or no, it picked him up and it squeezed him, or it just threw him a little bit, and that was enough to just kill him. And then he dies, and then they go fight. In this one, he gets stabbed right in front of Richie, which is super sad when you learn some stuff about Richie in this movie. This is probably, more than any one of the losers in the film, this is Richie's movie, to be honest. I mean, Bill gets a lot of great moments in there too, and of course so does Mike and Beverly, but Richie is a very heavily centered on character in this film due to his past and him being gay and him liking Eddie in the past, that reveal. And then of course it's really sad when Eddie gets impaled right in front of him and then thrown, and then Eddie bleeds, and then they go fight it, and they kill Pennywise, and then they go back to Eddie and he's bled out and died. Which is super sad. And they have to leave his body there in the destroyed well house, because once they kill Pennywise, the well house starts to deteriorate, and then it just all gets sucked into the ground kind of reminded me of Monster House, to be honest. It was pretty fun. And there to that, the scares really, jump at you in this film. Whether you're talking about the old granny attacking Beverly in the apartment, or the bunch of hands trying to take Bill, get Bill inside of the sewer, or the lumberjack that attacks Richie. The leper makes a return in this film to haunt Eddie in the basement of the drugstore. Let's see. Oh my gosh, there's so many funny lines in this film. Henry Bowers was such a cool character in this, even though he got like super wasted. But there's just a funny line where Eddie gets stabbed, and yeah, Eddie's just like, "You should cut that mullet. It's been like 30 years, man." As he has a knife in his mouth, or no, he stabs Henry with it, and then he pulls it out, and he's like, "You should cut that hair, man. It's been like 30 years." But yeah, the bad aspects of this movie, man. This movie is all over the place in terms of pacing. It just really is incohesive when it comes to the pacing. Cause I don't know, it just some beats it connects. Where Beverly goes back to the apartment, and then she has flashes or memories of her father being abusive and all that. But then there are just some weird moments where they're like some pointless moments, to be honest. It's like they go down into this sort of shed thing that was never mentioned in chapter 1. You would think it would have been mentioned. I don't know if they made it before or after they defeated Pennywise that summer. I think it was before. So I don't know why it was never really introduced in the first film. But they have like this basement underground that they go down into and have fun and everything. And then it flashes to the kid. Yeah, they go down there as adults, and it flashes to them as kids just for like a couple lame gags or just jokes. It wasn't lame. It was just kind of weak humor. And then just reminding us, hey, Stan said this. It really hits home about the Stan death and everything. There's just a lot of plot lines that went nowhere in this film, but ultimately it gets a 9 out of 10. It's a good film. It really is. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites of the year. Not my personal favorite, but it is one of my favorites of this year, and I'm still deciding whether or not that this could have been done better, but I don't know, because there's a lot of things that just don't go nowhere in this film. Like, there's just stuff that Mike talks about with, the whole ritual with the Native Americans. And then they play it up so much throughout the film to the point where it gets annoying. And where Mike gets to be sort of an annoying character. And then it's revealed that he lied to Bill and the rest of the Losers Club. And basically all of that was BS. So you just get tortured and annoyed with this talk of the Native Americans and, how they supposedly fought off Pennywise years and years ago. And it just turns out to all be, just nonsense. So that's time spent on that wasted. And then there's just some, just out of nowhere they're looking for, it almost seems like they just couldn't find a reason for there to be individual scares, because the whole thing, the main premise is, all the losers are coming back. That's what it advertised it, from the advertising standpoint. It was always, man, losers stick together. And then throughout all of this movie, they're barely together. They're together maybe I don't know, 20 or 30, not even half of it they're together. They come together at the Chinese restaurant. You get, the Chinese gag there from the 90s. It implemented into this. It's really not any better, in my opinion. It was actually too obnoxious and annoying and loud for my tastes anyway. But I don't know. I might do a separate video on it when it comes out on DVD and I watch it again. But anyway, guys, that was my review for It Chapter 2. Let me know what you guys thought of this film. This could have easily been a 10 out of 10 if not for plot points that didn't go anywhere. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Goodbye.